Divisive Texas immigration law is back on hold tonight. Late last night, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals blocked Senate Bill 4 from going into effect just hours after the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that it would allow Texas to enforce the law while a legal battle on it plays out.
It's quite a day yesterday. Senate Bill 4 would allow state and local law enforcement to arrest people suspected of crossing the Texas-Mexico border at any place other than a port of entry, and allow judges to order people back across the border. Today, Texas Governor Greg Abbott talked about the ruling at a border policy summit. KVUE's Malia Masamoto was there, joins us now live from the Texas state capitol. Malia, Governor Abbott says the rulings will not stop the state's efforts at the border.
That's right, Brian Ashley. There's been a lot of back and forth over the last 48 hours with court stays and rulings on whether Texas law enforcement can arrest people who enter the state illegally. But Governor Greg Abbott says he's not deterred. Now, SB 4 makes crossing the border from Mexico into Texas anywhere other than a port of entry a state misdemeanor crime. Governor Abbott signed it into law back in December, and it was set to go into effect earlier this month. But several civil rights groups and the Department of Justice sued the state, calling the law unconstitutional, saying enforcing immigration is a federal duty. Now, as the lawsuit makes its way through the legal system, there's been a separate legal fight on whether the law can go into effect while this lawsuit plays out. The back and forth, like we said, has made it all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. In the meantime, Governor Abbott says the legal fight won't stop Texas.
Texas has the legal authority to arrest people coming across the razor wire barriers on our border, and we will continue to use our arrest authority and arrest people coming across the border illegally.
Now, Governor Abbott went on to say troopers with the Texas Department of Public Safety have already arrested more than 40,000 people. Those arrests are largely for trespassing and have happened since the start of Operation Lone Star in March of 2021. Meanwhile, as SB 4 plays out in court, civil rights advocates worry about this new law, what it means for people living in Texas.
A concern that people of color are not going to feel safe going out into the streets, especially those who come from immigrant communities, because police are going to recognize a possibility that they could be in violation of this broad sweeping SB 4 law.
Now, at the Texas Public Policy Foundation's Border Summit today, Governor Abbott said he wants to continue building a border wall and plans to keep a floating barrier of buoys in the Rio Grande. And as for Senate Bill 4, this morning, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals heard oral arguments virtually on pausing the law from going into effect while this lawsuit plays out. Now, there were a lot of unanswered questions about the logistics of how this law works. There's a lot that goes into it. It's very complex. But as for now, the law is not in effect. Live at the state capitol, Malia Masamoto, KVUE News.
Malia, thank you for that. Now, after speaking at the Border Policy Summit, the governor hosted sheriffs from across the state at the state capitol. This is what he had to say to them regarding Senate Bill 4.
We will keep fighting regardless of what happens in the court, because we all have a collective responsibility, and that's to maintain the safety and security of our residents and our state and our sovereignty.